If you guys were able to pick up a PS5, congratulations, this video is for you. I have some hidden settings and features that you guys need to know about and maybe want to consider changing up to bring the best out of your PS5 experience. And if you're searching for a PS5 right now currently, just be patient, don't give up, your time will come, and it's gonna feel so satisfying when you get that PS5, you order it and But without further ado, let's go over these hidden settings and features that you guys need to know about. Enabling 120 Hz mode or 120 frames per second. Of course, you're gonna need a game that's compatible. And of course, you're gonna need a supported display. But if you wanna enable it, you gotta take it to the settings and then you gotta take it down into the save data and game/app settings. Now, you wanna get into game presets. And then you're gonna see something that says performance mode or resolution mode. Now you want to take it down into the performance mode, and that is going to allow you to have 120 Hz mode onto the game. So for example, if you just have it on game default, it's just going to lock you into 60 frames per second. If you take it to performance mode, you have 120 Hz. Now the only caveat for me, I don't have a supported device. I don't have an HDMI 2.1, so I'm only limited to 1080p at 120 Hz mode. So for me, I'll have to bump down the resolution to 1080p, not 4K. So if I get into Call of Duty, okay, so now I'm here on Cold War. We have the new season out. Now you want to take it to the settings, the options. If you press it on your PS5 controller, you want to go down to graphics by pressing R1. You guys are going to be able to see 120 Hz refresh rate enabled automatically, but due to my capture card being a little outdated, I need to upgrade it. It's just going to be grayed out for me. It's just not supported. So that's how you enable 120 Hz refresh rate. It's kind of hidden, I would say. As you guys can see, screen and video, you just don't have anything that says refresh rate. You can't set it just like that. Now, something I just found out yesterday, you have a bunch of gestures that you can do on your DualSense controller, or I should say shortcuts. So with the PS button, if you press and hold the PS button, you automatically going to go home. If you press it once, you're gonna just access the control center. So instead of you going to the control center and then going home by pressing X, oops, let me do that. You know, it's just a lot more faster if you just press and hold the PS button. But if you press and hold a little bit longer, you're automatically gonna shut down your controller. So the controller is gonna turn off if you hold it for 10 seconds, and it's automatically gonna cut off. So I'm still holding it, and my controller is off just by me holding the PS button. If you double press the PS button, you're gonna automatically take it to your card. So I'm not really a huge fan of this card system. I love it on the PS4 where you double press the PS button, you get to your previous application. So in this case, if I had YouTube open, I can get to YouTube, or I could get back to Call of Duty Cold War. It would have been nice to have it on the PS5 thanks to its SSD speeds being a little bit more faster, but unfortunately that is just not present on the PS5 yet. So hopefully Sony can give us a option to customize the different gestures or shortcuts, I should say, for the PS button. But that's how you access your card, and I think that is the first card that you can see here. Yeah, so that's like a shortcut to get to the first card, basically. Now, another thing too that's interesting, if you press and hold the mute button on your DualSense, it's gonna completely silence all audio altogether. So if you press and hold it, it's automatically gonna mute everything. Now, something that is very important to really take a look at, if you take it back to the settings, I know you guys always roast me for saying settings, but if you go down into notifications, which is the bell icon, make sure you guys click on that notification bell if you guys want to see more videos, and as well as that subscribe button. You want to take a look at this. This is important. So you could be able to have the display time. So if it's on the screen long, if somebody invites you, or if you're in a group chat, you know how those group chats go, you could be able to shorten the duration of that notification. So you can be able to have it extremely long. That's what she said. Which is going to appear on the screen, or you can have it default, or you can have it as fast as possible. So you see it, you want it away from your screen as quickly as possible. So you want to be able to check that out. Maybe you want to hide the preview and just have it say new message. You could do so. You can even disable notifications altogether. But one thing that is super important, friends that notify you. Now, this is something that is on the PS3. If someone signs on, you're going to see it right there. and you can have it on the PS5 as well. So if you have that special somebody, you want one person to come online, you're gonna see a notification on your screen. Oh, he's online. Let me play some Call of Duty Cold War with him. Another thing too that's important, you can have notifications during games, during movies, or videos, I should say, or during podcasts or broadcasts. Wow, I can't speak today. So yeah, that's interesting. So just make sure you see what's what. Now another thing too that's important to really tweak up, take it to the accessories, go down to controllers, and tweak up these settings. Now, I still have my vibration intensity strong, which is the standard, but if you lower it down to weak, you're gonna conserve a lot more battery life, so your controller is gonna die less. And also same thing with the triggers, but the brightness of your controller, in my opinion, I always have it set to dim just to get the most battery life. And even the communication method, if you connect your controller, your DualSense, to your PS5 hardwire, you get less lag, because sometimes Bluetooth can get a little laggy if you have a bunch of other Bluetooth devices nearby. So you can be able to have the controller set to USB cable mode only, but for convenience I always use Bluetooth. But yeah, next up, if you go into the system, so settings, system, you want to enable HDMI device link. This is very convenient to have. It might not float your boat, but for me, it's very convenient. So what this is going to allow you to do, if your TV is off, it's automatically going to turn off your PS5. If you turn on your TV, it's going to turn on your PS5. And better yet, you could use your TV remote to control the user interface. So if you want to save a couple of dollars, you don't want to spend $30 on the PS5 media remote, you could be able to just enable the settings and use your very own TV remote or universal remote, whatever you have, and you should be able to be good to go. I can control my PS5 using my Apple Watch, which is just insane. So I made a video on that. I'll throw a link in the description. I'm just using hand gestures. I'm literally using my hand to control the user interface. It is so futuristic. I highly encourage you guys to watch that video. But HDMI device link, it is that good. It is that good. And since we're already here on the system, we want to go down to power saving, and you want to go down into features available in rest mode. Now, rest mode is very convenient. I'm sure you guys know what it is. It's going to download updates, patches, games, remote play. Very convenient to have rest mode, but in my case, having supply power to USB ports, set that to always instead of 3 hours, because now 3 hours is the limit. I like to always have power on the USB ports. Let's say I want to charge a controller last minute, or I want to charge something else. I could be able to charge it at any time without being limited to just 3 hours. So just have it as always, why not? And that also leads me, you need to have this enabled for remote play access, and that leads me to the next cool feature or hidden feature that you need to know about. Remote play is nothing too surprising, but you can connect this to any device, well, iOS or Android, and you could be playing anywhere. And a lot of people think I'm capping with this. I made a video on this before. You could be anywhere around the world as long as you have a strong internet connection and your PS5 is also strong with Wi-Fi speeds or Ethernet. I highly encourage you guys to use Ethernet. You should be able to play PS5 games anywhere you are. And bravo to Sony, the remote play is way better on PlayStation than the Xbox. I made a video, you guys didn't see it yet, I need to edit it, but it's just so limited on Xbox. And last but not least, taking it down into the captures and broadcasts. If you want to stream your videos, you want to make sure you have the right shortcuts, the right quality. So going into the shortcuts for the create button, you could be able to change it to easy screenshot. So if you press once on the create button, you take a quick screenshot. If you press and hold it, you just display the controls. You press it twice to save the video clip of your recent gameplay. I normally have it on standard, so whatever floats your boat, you could do so, but you might want to tweak up your recent gameplay clip because sometimes something could happen over the 30 seconds. You don't want to miss any moment, so maybe have it at least 3 minutes, boost it up a little bit, have it 5 minutes, but anything with seconds, sometimes you want to record the whole thing and you wasn't really prepared to record it. In case you guys are confused, the PS5 is always recording your gameplay until you press the capture button. It's gonna save the last 30 seconds. But with this, you could be able to save it, pick your duration. You could pick your duration of the gameplay and just set it. And then even so now this is something that I can't really show you guys here. Now I just connected it to my 4K TV and had to connect it back to my capture card. And remember, my capture card can only maximum resolution is 1080p. So if I go back and try to get back here, it's gonna just gray out right there. You can't even adjust it. but you can actually set the resolution for your video clip format. Only if you have a 4K TV, you can set it to 4K. If you have a 1080p TV, you can only do 1080p. It is just amazing how you can capture 4K gameplay footage for up to an hour. That is just insane. My capture card can't even do that. Yes, I'm going to be upgrading soon, but the capture cards cost the same price as a PS5 itself. Yeah, so yeah, it costs $400 for the Elgato, but you guys probably don't care about none of that. But yeah, nonetheless, make sure you guys set the video clip format if you care about that, and just tweak up some of these settings here. So and there you guys have it. Those are the hidden settings / features about the PS5 that you guys need to know about. If you guys are new around here, make sure you guys subscribe with notifications on, and make sure you guys follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and on Twitter at SimplyPops. Until next time, guys, peace. You guys want to see my new haircut? I have a new haircut right now. Let me show you guys. Yeah. Epic reveal.